Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Preeti Trivedi. Now, let us move on to the next presentation. It is by Dr. G. Balaji. The title of the presentation is Syncretization of Sapta Matrikas or Seven Sisters in Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain religions, with special reference to Tamil Nadu. Let me introduce Dr. Balaji. Dr. G. Balaji is the Assistant Professor at CPR Institute of Indological Research, Chennai. He has obtained his doctorate in ancient history and archaeology from the University of Madras. His areas of research interest are art, architecture, iconography, numismatics, epigraphy, field archaeology, and ethnoarchaeology. He has done extensive field research in India. He has published his research project entitled Arts and Crafts of the Nilagiri Tribes, an ethno-archaeological study of the indigenous people of the Nilagiri Hills. And he has over 20 research articles to his credit. Now over to Dr. G. Balaji.
Thank you, Professor Rita Naya. I chosen this topic, syncretization of Sabdamatrikas or seven sisters in Hindus, Buddhists, and Jains, with special reference to Tamil Nadu. Because of that, I believe that these cults have been evolved from the folklore or village goddesses of India, and my discussion will be also continue as same. Village goddesses and goddesses of India, you see, the folk or village goddesses form an important role in the major religions of India. These deities represent the religious beliefs and customs of the different ethnic groups. In recent studies, many of the cults belong to Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain may be traced back to the prehistoric or ancient folk beliefs of the people. These major religions incorporated or integrated many primitive and folk forms in its evolution. Mother goddesses worship is popular in all over the world. Rock paintings and sculptures of mother goddesses has been found in India and abroad belongs to prehistoric period reveals the antiquity of this cult. In the megalithic excavations at Adichanallur near Tirunelveli in Tamil Nadu, a bronze image of mother goddesses was found. Many anthropomorphic and terracotta images of female figures were procured in the excavations from several parts of Tamil Nadu. In this image, you can see the left side that mother goddesses found from Adichanallur, and on the right you see locally known as Isiriparai, and the scholars believe this is anthropomorphic form of mother goddesses worshipped in the medieval megalithic period in Tamil Nadu. Spirit worship also played an important role in the evolution of Sabdamatrikas or seven Kannikas. The worship of spirit or animism is also a popular form of primitive beliefs all over the world. In the agricultural societies, the female goddesses played an important role according to the beliefs of the primitive groups. In Tamil Nadu, the origin of Ponniamman and Kamakshi with sugarcane are the best examples of the orientation of goddesses with agriculture. Apart from the devotion, the fear about the natural calamities, diseases, epidemic, and fondness towards the fertility are also the causes of the origin of these goddesses. Mariamman, the smallpox goddesses, Kali for averting cholera, and Plekama are the examples of ill-tempered goddesses for whom blood offerings are made for pacification. Sabdamatrikas are seven sisters or a 19th century description of the beliefs of the people of Tamil Nadu about the seven Kannikas is that they are supposed to protect tanks, and when the flood arises to a dangerous point, it is said that one of the Kannika runs through the village in the disguise of a young boy or a girl and calls all the villagers to come and protect the band. It is believed that the people walking along a tank band sometimes met the Kannikas, and that anyone who sees them dies. The major characters of this cult is that they are fearful, bloodthirsty, bring illness, dangerous to children, and dichotomous personalities. Hence, they were worshipped by the common folk with the objectives of protecting them from the evils invoked by these goddesses. These village or folk goddesses adopted or syncretized in the Orthodox Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain religions under a new identity, and the imagery is standardized according to the requirements. In Hinduism, the early literary references from the Rig Veda speaks of a group of 7 mothers who control the preparation of soma. But you don't find any name in the Vedas. A clear depiction of Saptamatrikas appear in the epic Mahabharata also. The epic list specifically gives 7 names: Kaki, Halima, Rudra, Brihali, Arya, Palala, and Mitra. These are quite obscure names and obviously taken from the folklore tradition. Varaha Mihira also not mentioned the numbers and names of these goddesses, but Utpala, while commenting on this passage, names them as Brahmi, Vaishnavi, Raudri, that is Maheshwari, and Kaumari, Aindri, Yami, Varuni, and Kauberi, that is Guberi, and mentions few more as Narasimhi, Varahi, and Vainayaki. These Narasimhi, Varahi, and Vainayakis were replaced some of the matrikas when they form a group of 7 or 8. Hence, it is understood that there is not a definite number fixed for Sabda matrikas of 7 or 8. In later literatures also speaks about there were nearly 16 matrikas with Gauri in the beginning or mentioned. There are 3 mythologies connected with the origin of matrikas. One is that Antakashura Vadam by the Shiva. He created these matrikas to suck the blood of the Antakasura while he fought against him. After winning the battle, the matrikas are become very violent and started destroying the world to fulfill the thirst for blood. Shiva subdued them with his Virabhadra or Bhairava manifestation. This led them to calm down and people started worshipping them for the safety against the evilness. Even in very late period, Virabhadra was replaced by Vinadara Dakshinamurti with saying that with Dakshinamurti with his preachings subdued these goddesses. In Markandeya Purana, we found that goddesses Parvati as Durga created these 7 matrikas to help her in the battle against the Asuras. Sumba and Nisumba. In one verse of Markandeya Purana, it is clearly stated that Shaktis of Brahma, Shiva, Kartikeya, Vishnu, and Indra came out of their bodies and went to help Durga. This illustration is from Devi Mahatmyam, and you can see the Devi was accompanied by all the 7 matrikas. Here it is 8 with Narsimhi, and you can see the matrikas are mounted on their respective vehicles and having the respective weapons in their hands. The Chandika Sakti that came out of Durga called Sivatuti or Kali. Kali, who came out of Durga's forehead, led the battle against the Sanda and Munda, the mighty Asura, generally of Sumba and Asumba. Kali served the heads of these 2 and presented to her Devi. Hence, Parvati given her the title Samunda or Samundi. Samundi is an important female deity of Sabdamatrika group. She always leads the crew and sometimes by Brahmi. But Samunda, you find Samunda representation in all the 3 religions, that is here in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism in different names. The Devi Mahatmyam does not include Samunda in the list of Sabdamatrikas. She has been taking shape to lap up the blood of the Asura Raktabja, for he had obtained the boon that every drop of blood that fell from his body would produce a myriad of Asura who were all replicas of them. Here you see Kali helping for the Devi to fight, and here you see the Samunda sucking the blood of Raktabja. Supravedagama ascribes the creation of the 7 matrikas to help Brahma when he wanted to kill Nirtasura. This is the 3rd legend. We have different references of Saptamatrikas about their numbers and names in Vamana Purana and other Puranas. The Tantric works like Prapanchasara, Yogini, Hridaya, and Swachanta Danta are also has descriptions of the Saptamatrikas. We have to note that all these texts emerged and standardized in the Middle Ages. Let us have a quick look of the characteristics of Sabdamatrikas to understand how they have evolved from four goddesses to divine mothers. Brahmi, she is consort of Brahma. She is golden complexion, four-headed and four-armed, riding on swan, matted hair, crown on her head. Normal hands are in Abhaya and Varada, and upper hands carry Kamandalu and Akshamala. If shown with more hands, she carry pustakas and sacrificial ladle. She generally seen wearing a deer skin as a dress. She resides under Brahma Vriksha. All these details are character from the Agamas and Puranic description. Mageshwari, consort of Mageshwara, she is white or red in complexion, generally has single head and sometimes have five heads, three eyes and four arms. She rides on a bull. She wears a Jada Maguda and Karanda Maguda on her head. Normal hands are in Abhaya and Varada, and upper hands carry Sula and Akshamala. If shown with more hands, she carries bell, sword, vajra, noose, goat, axe, trident, skull cup, and katwanga and spear. Kaumari, she is consort of Kumara or Skanda. She is dark or red complexioned. Her vehicle is peacock, single-faced and sometimes six-faced as her consort. She wears Karanta Maguda. She wears red garment. Normal hands carry Abhaya and Varada, and upper hands carry Sakti and cock, that is Kukuda. She resides under a Udumbara tree. Vaishnavi, consort of Vishnu, she is dark complexion. She has pretty face and four arms. She wears a Krita Maguda. She rides on a Garuda. She wears a yellow silk garment. Her normal hands are in Abhaya and Varada, and upper hands carry conch and chakra. If shown with more hands, she carried discus, conch, mace, and lotus. She wears a Vanamala. It's a favorite ornament of Vishnu. She sits under a Rajavriksha. Varahi, consort of Varaha, a form of Vishnu. She is dark complexion. She has a boar face with protruding tusks. She wears a Karanta Maguda, rides a buffalo, wears a yellow garment. Abhaya and Varada and upper hands carry Hala, that is plowshare, and Sakti. In other hands, if she shown with more hands, she carries pistol club, bell, fly whisk, mace, lotus, sword, shield, noose, and sula. Her abode is Kalpavriksha. Indrani or Aindri, consort of Indra, she is golden or red complexion, three-eyed and four-armed. She rides elephant. She wears a Krita Maguda. She also has multiple eyes like her husband. Her normal hands are in Abhaya and Varada, and her upper hands carry Vajra and bow. If shown with more hands, she carries Sutra, Vajra, Kalasa, Patra, Gada, Sphere, and Lotus. Her abode is also Kalpavriksha. Samunda or Samundi, she is dark or dark blue or red in complexion. She is terrible looking with wide open mouth and bearing fangs. Her hair dressed like Jatabara. She wears tiger skin as her garment. Her body is emaciated, hollow bellied, sunken eyes, red head. She rides upon a corpse that is Pretaka. The three-eyed and four-armed. Her normal hands are in Abhaya and Varada, and upper hands carry Sula and Kapala. She shown with more hands, she carries Musala, Kavasa, etc. She wears in her hairs Patra Kundala and Preta Kundala. This Preta Kundala is an exclusive hair ornament for Samundi, Chamunda. She wears a Mundamala across her body. There is the garland of severed heads. Her abode is under a fig tree. The common features of the Sardamatrikas are they may be sculpted either sitting, standing, or dancing, and they were either carry babies or their laps or not. In Tamil Nadu, they are as a group don't carry babies, but we see individual sculptures of matrikas like Angalamman, Selliamman, Parameswari, etc. carry babies. In Tamil Nadu, Samunda icon will not be so terrible as seen in northern examples. Sculptures of goddesses in village temples situated in open courtyards or moderate shrines, as you see in the left image, not follow any particular iconographic style as mentioned in Agama and Puranic text. But in Orthodox Hindu temples, you see the image of the right side. This is from Airavada temple, Chola period. You can see the sculptures are made as per the text of the Agamas. Let us have a quick look of Saptamatrika's evolution in India. The worship of Saptamatrika is familiar in India, and almost in all the northern and southern dynasties contributed much for its cult development. There are scholars who believe Matrikas were present as early as Indus Valley civilization and Vedic culture. A seal with a row of 7 feminine deities or priestesses witnessing a sacrificial ceremony of a mother goddesses was cited as a reference to Saptamatrika theory. The sculptural images of Saptamatrika started appearing from as early as Kushana period. The early Kushana sculptors showed them as two-armed women, well decorated, showing with the right hand the gesture of protection and holding a water pot in their left. These figures, which are seated, have neither emblems nor vehicles but are flanked by Ayudha Purishas. In another example of Kushana plague from Dangon, 7 females seen with Skanda. Here you see Skanda is standing in the extreme left of ours, and all the 7 women are standing without any agamic features on them. This is a drawing from V.S. Agarwala's book, and this sculpture is in Mathura Museum, Archaeological Museum, Mathura. Later during the Gupta period, they were standardized according to the Puranic descriptions. The sculptures of Saptamatrikas were carved either in relief or as a 3-dimensional sculptures. They have seen carved in on the early cave temples and in structural temples in a row bracketed by Veerabhadra or Vinadra Dakshinamurti and Ganesha. Examples are best examples from Ellora, Udayagiri, Badami, Aihole, Belur and Halabid, and in deep south of Pandya country, Tiruparangundram, Malayadipatti, Tirupokaranam, and in Pallava country, we have an example from Kanchipuram. There are individual temples also built for Saptamatrikas. One such rock cut temple is in Pahari, Madhya Pradesh, belonged to 4th century. At Ellora in 6th century CE, these goddesses were started appearing with their emblems and weapons and with children on their laps. You see on top left hand side, this is from National Museum, labeled as Maurya Saptamatrika, but we don't see much, any feature of Matrikas on them except they are 7. At the bottom you see this sculpture, I don't know where it is from, but you see more of tribal things on them. That is, this is 7 Matrikas sat erect on a pedestal led by a male deity, and the first 3 Matrikas you can see closely, they have bow and arrow on the back, and this feature of bow is not seen in any other sculptures of Saptamatrikas in India. At the right, top right, you see the Saptamatrikas sculpted in the Gupta period, and they have all the features of mentioned in Agamic and Puranas. And at the bottom, you see the Ellora example of Saptamatrikas with babies on their laps. The Chalukyas of Badami were devotees of the 7 mothers, and we find splendid specimens of the Matrika standing and dancing in Aihole, Ravanapadi, and Uchimali temple. The Parameswara temple of Orissa and the Vital Shrine also have Matrika representation in relief. The dancing panels of these goddesses are popular in 9th and 10th centuries. Allahabad panel, Mahadeva temple at Hotul, Kameswara temple are some of the examples. Along with these mothers, we can notice Shiva and Ganesha are also dancing. Bharada's Natya Sahasra refers to the worship of mothers headed by Brahmi as mothers of dancing. You see the top left, the sculpture of Saptamatrikas dancing with dancing Shiva. And in the right, you see the Vinadra Dakshinamurti and Ganesha dancing along with the Saptamatrikas, and below also an example of dancing Saptamatrikas. Now we come to Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, the Saptamatrikas are called as Saptamadhargal, Kannimargal or Yezhu Kannigal and are worshipped either individually or in a group. While in a group, they generally called as Saptamadhargal But when they worshipped individually, they called in different names like Chamundeshwari, Selliyamman, Yellayamman, Pidariamman, Kattiselli, etc. As believed by many scholars, these deities are of folk in nature and later on amalgamated into the Orthodox Hindu pantheon as tantric deities. We get information about Sabdakannigal or Madargal starting from the post-Sangam literature. In Tamil Nadu, the earliest reference to it is found in the Silappatikaram, which mentions the last of the Sabdamatrika of Brahminical canon as Aruvarku Ilayaval. There are more than 30 different names for the deities of the Sabdamatrikas and the temples noted so far in Tamil Nadu. Selliyamman, Pandalamman, Savandalagi etc. are some of the locally known names for the Sabdakannikal. In this, you can notice the Natta Ai and Pulikutti Amman. In the Natta Ai, maybe the goddesses who protecting. In Nattam, in Tamil, is meant for land, and these goddesses may be the protector of lands. And Pulikutti means killer of tiger. That means she may be protected the local people from the attack of a tiger. As said earlier, worshipping individual sculptures of matrikas are also popular in Tamil Nadu. One such temples of Selliyamman at Alambakam in Tiruchirappalli district is important for matrikas worship. The Madras Epigraphical Department annual report recorded inscription on the walls of Alambakam Selliyamman temple. This epigraph speaks about the Pallava king Rajakesari Varman endowments to this temple, which was found mentioning that the temple was dedicated to Sabdamatrikas. There are several inscriptional records available about Sabdamatrika worship in Chola period also. The Bragadishwara temple inscription mentions incidentally other minor deities worshipped in the several outlying villages. These major deities are village goddesses like Kala Pidari, Durga Parameswari, Yamalattu Durgayar, Omkara Sundari, etc. The Kola inscription of Rajakeswari Varman mentions about the allotment of yield received from the lands to the Sabdamadargal temple with the respective names. During the Chola period, the shrines of these goddesses are known as Tirumutram, as disguised from the Sri Koil of higher pantheon. Tirumutram is a open courtyard, fenced courtyard, with or without the shelter. You can see that on the right side of the image on the right side. This is how the rural part of Tamil Nadu, you find Sabdamatrika temples. Sabdamatrikas are usually found seated in a long panel of 7 individual sculptures. In many places, 7 mere stones painted with kumkum and saffron represent the 7 matrika mothers. That is, on the left, you see the representation of 7 mothers or 7 Sabdam Kannigal as a stone placed on a high pedestal. Behind that, you find the latest new depiction of Sabdamatrika sculptures. As said earlier, the Sabdamatrika abodes are under the tree. The tradition continues and Sabdamatrikas are worshipped under the tree also. Below that you can see on the top left hand side image, and below that image you see this is the old tradition of worshipping Sabdamatrikas on the outskirts of the village and placing them on the bunds of the tanks and lakes. Worshipping them in the open air is very famous tradition in Tamil Nadu. At the right side, you can see the latest icons. Some of them are belongs to Nayak and Vijayanagar period. You don't find any agamic traditions followed in this making of these icons, and they don't carry any attributes as the Sabdamatrikas of Hinduism. This is from the Pallava. They are locally known as Pidaris, but these sculptures of Sabdamatrikas belongs to Pallava period, and they are 8 in number. These loose sculptures found scattered all over the Mahamalapuram, and they are brought over here and kept. The important point is the middle one, that is the tall image of Chamunda placed here laterwards as the deity leading the temple. This icon may be worshipped as an individual icon in a sanctum in earlier period, and later on that sculpture have been moved and kept over here. These are some of the images depicting the modern way of worshipping the Sabdakannikas and Sabdamadhagal. And on the right side, second image, you see this is from a Shiva temple. And once they are placed in a Shiva or Vishnu temple, they follow them to make as they have described in Agamic texts. Below is a very rare sculpture of Yelu Karupasamy, that is Karupu is god, male god, accompany these Kannikas in the villages. In Andhra, they know he is known as Potturazu, and here he is known as in Tamil Nadu Karupasamy. And this 7 brothers in a slab is a very rare one, and this was under worship in Nallandar Kovil. The earliest sculptural panel of these deities with clear iconography is found at Kailasnatha Temple, Kanchipuram. What I mean is still it is inside a temple complex, not moved out out of it. In this panel, these goddesses were seated in ease on a common platform with 4 hands, except Indrani and Veerabhadra is seated, except Indrani. Indrani has only 2 hands, and Veerabhadra is seated in Yogasana, wearing a yoga patta, while Ganesha has his trunk inclining rightward. I recently identified the goddess's Kunnathamman sculpture at Chennai as a matrika, which explains how the amalgamation of Sabdamatrikas occurred in medieval period in Tamil Nadu. Kunnathamman sculpture is exactly matches with the iconographic features of Rudra Chamunda mentioned in Agni Purana. Ramachandra Rao states that Chamunda may be 2, 4, 10, 16 and 20 armed, but when she represents all the 7 matrikas, she is 8 armed. She carrying in her left hand skull cup, shield, bell and serpent, and in the right hand spear, sword, vampire and hand drum. This features exactly matches with Kunnathamman, so that we can say she is a Rudra Chamunda. This is the on the left side. You can see the icon of Kunnathamman. She is constantly under worship, so it is very difficult to take a photograph without the garment and her kavacha. This is the architecture of the temple. You can see it's a hut type architecture. One minute, slide is not moving. Another interesting feature of Kunnathamman sculpture is the swan emblem on her pedestal. Vishnu Dharmottara mentions that she has been provided corpse as her mount in Purvakarna along with corpse, and another Vahana was also mentioned that is owl and have vulture as her banner. According to Matsya Purana, she rides on a vulture or crow. In Jain tradition, Chamunda has been accepted as the Yakshi of the 22nd Tirthangara Neminada as per Digambaras. She is terrible looking and rides on a crocodile, but for Sudambaras, she is Gantari and has white complexion, having swan as a mount. She carries in her hand sword, spear, pomegranate, and held one of the hands in Varada. So, except the swan mount, nothing of other attributes suits Gandhari with Kunnathamman. Hence, we omit the option of she could be the Jain Yakshini and conclude she is Rudra Chamundi mentioned in Agni Purana. Now we move on to Matrikas in Buddhism. Being a religion of Indian origin, Buddhism could not avoid the impact of Hinduism. Our previous scholars also mentioned many of it. So I don't need much explanation. As the Hindus made Buddha the 9th incarnation of Vishnu, the Buddhists annexed a number of gods and goddesses from the Hindu pantheon and incorporated them into their own. In the Buddhist pantheon, they naturally play a subordinate role like attending on the Buddha, but the female goddesses like Gauri, Varahi, Samunda, and Saraswati were more fortunate to attain a principal role. The essential qualities of these female goddesses were absorbed and modified under 6 goddesses of direction, Pancharaksha goddesses, Taras of 5 colors, 8 Gauri group, 4 dance deities, 4 door protectors, 8 mother goddesses, etc. They were worshipped by either Mahayana or Vajrayana followers. I have given some of the Dakini's names and their characters and the attributes they hold. You see, all of them are holding the skull cup as the Matrikas. The 8 Gauri group, these goddesses probably worshipped by the Vajrayana, are described in the Buddhist literature. All these goddesses are violent in character with fearful appearance and ornaments and wear garland of heads they dance to. Varahi, as the symbol of fish, her vehicle is owl or buffalo, color blue, forearms, front two in Anjali Mudra, and the upper hands carry Rohita fish and skull cup. Samunda, as explained before, has corpus as her vehicle, red in color, forearms, front two in Anjali Mudra, and the upper hands carry knife and skull cup. Hariti, already explained by the previous scholar, she is both a revered goddess and demon, depending on the Buddhist tradition. In a positive aspect, she is regarded for the protection of children, easy delivery and happy child rearing, while her negative aspects include the misery and unhappiness towards children and parents, which remains as the characters of the Matrikas. But she, in the Buddhist text, mentioned as she pacified by the Buddha from not stealing the children. It is also a character of Sabda Matrikas. The inscriptional references of the early Chalukya kings who are described there as the descendants of Hariti and nurtured by the 7 mothers. This I am mentioning here because that it gives some link between the Hariti worship and 7 mothers. On the left, you can see the Varahi with 4 hands holding a fish on her upper right and Kapala on her upper left hand and a baby on her left lap and the bull mount. The right side images of Ariti from Mathura Museum, Kushana. She's seen holding a wine cup in her right hand and she's surrounded by babies and a baby also on her left lap. Now we move on to the last part of my lecture, that is Matrikas in Jainism. We find many Hindu and gods and goddesses appear as subordinate deities in the Jain pantheon. Both the Svetambara and Digambara sects adopted the Hindu deities according to their need. Particularly, many names and characteristics of Sabda Matrikas can be seen syncretized into Jainism without much change in their character. They are known as Yakshinis. Chakreshwari, she has 8 hands as per the Swadambara tradition, and Varada, arrows, disc, nose, bow, Vajra, disc, and goat. In Digambara tradition, she in 4 hands, 2 discs in upper hands. If 12 hands, 8 discs in upper hand, and back hands on the other hands carries citrus, Vajra, etc. Her vehicle is eagle. She resembles Vaishnavi. See, this is the image of Chakreshwari from Kankali Mount. You can see she's holding various, in various hands, the chakras, and she's shown with 2 attendant deities. Mahakali or Prusadatta, Santa or Kali, Brukuti, Jwala Malini, Gandhari, already explained, Chamunda, are all the resembles Matrikas. They have they also carry the weapons as the agamic text Hindu gods are having, and the vehicles also more or less same, and they resemble Shanta or Kali resembles Maheshwari and Gandhari resembles Samunda. And in this group, Ambika is an important Yakshini. She in both sects have her vehicle as lion. She resembles Parvati. The story is also more or less same of Saivite, that is that story of mango. In deep south, we know Karikal Ammayar. She is a devotee of Shiva. She also has a story related to mango. On the left, you see Ambika is sitting. This is from Ellora under a mango tree. with a on her lion mount with a baby on her left lap. In contrast to the Ellora Ambiga on the right, you see this is from the Pandya country, Kalugumalai. She is standing in Tribanga, and her lion mount is shown aside, and two babies or male attendants holding the mangoes. If you look closely, the face of this Ambiga resemble many of the Chola bronzes of Parvati. Let's come to the conclusion. We do not find in the early literature, this is an extract of my lecture, we do not find in the early literatures the mentioning of the names of seven sisters or Sapta Matrikas as we find in the Puranas, but we are getting iconographic representation of these deities prior to the Puranas. The sculptural representation of Maurya, Kushana, and the early sculptures of village goddesses, Sabdakannigal of Tamil Nadu, are not depicting the iconographical features as mentioned in the Puranas and Agamas. The Sabdakannikas we find in the rural areas still serve as the protectors of various epidemics and natural calamities. As I said, they are the protectors of the bunds of the tanks. During the early medieval period, the Sabdamatrikas elevated from the status of Grama Kannikas to Akasa Kannikas. So, according to the Puranic stories, they attained the status of divine mothers, having the powers of their consort to serve the purpose of fighting the evilness. Hence, we conclude that the folk or village goddesses created by the common folks out of their own fear towards the evilness caused to them have later on syncretized into Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain pantheons by adding new identities because of the popularity in the common folk. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Balaji. Now the paper is open for discussion. Dr. Balaji, there are some comments and one question.
Yes,
chat
ma'am.
box.
I'll see.
Sir, you have told the Chamundi is the Yakshi of Nemi Tirthangara, but she is the Yakshi of the Nami Tirthangara, 21st Tirthangara.
Okay, so I taken them from the books only. I will again go and search for
For
it.
Nemi, it is Kushmandini.
Check. Yeah.
And another thing, in Kalugumalai, the tree is Arikana tree, not mango tree.
I didn't mention it is a mango tree. I mentioned only the Ellora. I know that it's an Arikana tree.
Yes.
That's why I told that attendant ladies carry the mangoes in their hands.
Yes. And another one, a gentleman asked whether in this Varahi sculpture is found in Jainism. Recently, they have added this sculpture in Tirumalai, Tiruvannamalai district.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
Varahi.
you.
The excellent presentation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your comments, sir. Thank you, sir. Shashant, I don't understand the Sali Pandit Datar in the Svedambara and Digambara tradition. Shashant Devata are different sets.
Sasana Devata.
Shashana Devata. Shashana. Yes. There is another A is missing there. Yeah. Naturally, there are a lot of different names. I only picked up a few which are related to Sabdamatrikas. Lot of Hindu and Hindu gods are taken away, and you can find so many names of even male goddesses in the Jainism and Buddhism.
Dr. Balaji, there is one question in the chat box. Do we have any shrine dedicated exclusively for Varahi? Oh, I think that you have already mentioned about it, right?
Yes.
Varahi Amman in southern India.
In southern India, there is no separate shrine for Varahi Amman, madam. There may be modern shrines are building up here and there, yes. But we don't have any old traditional shrines in southern India.
Dr. Balaji?
Yes, sir.
Nageshwar Rao.
Sir, namaskaram, sir.
Namaskaram. Sir, it's very excellent lecture. I got two questions.
Yes, sir.
In Tanjavur Brihadishwara temple,
yes, sir.
On the left side, as we enter after the second Gopuram, okay, a separate temple for Varahi is there. Maybe it was brought in somewhere else. I don't know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is there, sir. Prahadishwara temple, a separate shrine. That is, she comes under the seven Prahara Devatas.
Okay.
They are coming under seven Prahara Devatas. So, Samundis, this Sabdamatrika shrine is there.
And another question, is it mentioned, referred in the Agamic text about Matrikas?
Pardon, sir?
Is it mentioned in the Agamic text?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mentioned names, no? Suprabheda Agama and
Okay.
other Agamas are giving
Excellent.
detailed description of Sabdamatrikas, sir.
Thank you. That's what.
Thank you.
Excellent,
Thank you
sir.
so much. Yes, sir.
So thank you very much, Dr. Balaji, for the
Thank you so
wonderful
much,
presentation and the very interactive session.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
So thank you very much, all the 5 speakers of this session. Now we conclude the session and we will reassemble at 2 o'clock. Thank you very much.